She's wrecking me.
So Wreckin' was the only song on the whole project that I didn't write. I remember when it got pitched to me. It was pitched to me by Benny Brown, the head of the label, and we had just got done with like a 3-hour song meeting where you just go over a bunch of songs, and we had them picked for what we were going to go in and do for that next round of cutting. And I remember I was about to walk out the door, and Benny goes, "Hey man, I have one more song that I want you to hear." And so we played it, and right off the bat it had the 4 on the floor kick drum thing, which was really cool for the time that we've been in. We haven't heard a whole lot of 4 on the floor stuff, and so it was really reminiscent of early 2000s Eric Church stuff. And huge fan of Eric. And then I heard the demo singer, and it was Randy Montana, one of my closest friends, and so I was already hooked on it. And then I started listening to the storyline. Then it gets to the chorus, and they use a really cool musical trick where it goes to halftime. Again, you don't hear that very much lately, so I instantly fell in love with the song, and I was so happy to go in and record it, and that was my first single. And it was a blast.
Call it crazy.
Call It a Night was a blast to write. Liz Rose and Busby, and just huge names in Nashville, and it was so much fun getting in the room with them and writing that. And it's just it's a summer song. We do a lot of crazy things out in the country. We go four-wheeling and ride wheelies without helmets and have huge bonfires and do all these crazy things. But to somebody in the city that may be crazy, but out in the country, that's just having fun. We just call that a night. And so that's where that one came from.
I'm a blackjack label.
Just a Phase. Wrote that with Jim Beavers and Lindsey Rhymes. Huge fans of these guys as writers and as human beings. They're just great people. So we started writing a different song that morning, and we're just trying and fighting to get this song done. We ended up breaking for lunch and come back, and I had an idea for another song, a totally different vibe. It's kind of like a sultry, sexy vibe of a song, but still a breakup, because again, I love breakup songs. And I had this idea, and it was I'm Just Something You're Going Through. So Jim or Lindsey threw out I'm Just a Phase You're Going Through, and that was so perfect. It just said exactly what I've done in a relationship, or just trying to get through something, and it's not right at the end because you broke up, and so you just kind of hang on, but then there's a moment where you realize it's just a phase. It's just a coping mechanism to get over somebody. So that's just a phase.
We were born wild.
Born Wild. That was a blast. Wrote that with John Knight, who's been one of my closest friends for 10 years now, and the Warren Brothers, the Warren Brothers used to have a show that was absolutely chaos on CMT, and it was just a blast. And I remember badgering them the first 3 hours of the write about all their crazy shenanigans, and it was just such a fun write. And I remember, we just all kind of dug back into our roots and about how we grew up and what we did, and that's where Born Wild came from.
Baby, it's all good.
It's all good. Wrote it with Jamie Paulin and Lindsey Rhymes again. Lindsey, all over the place. That is just a summer feel-good thing. I mean, how many times have you just said, "Oh, it's all good, it's all good," I mean, we came in with that simple idea and just tried to write it as fun and as upbeat as possible. And always love playing that song. And I love every time we play it live, by the second chorus, everybody's singing it. So it's a blast to have on the EP, and hope you guys like it.
Out here the world's so still. Well, don't you love how this feels?